Well, it would seem that we have a dilemma. A lot of stealing of intellectual property seems to be going around. The manosphere, the so called super content creators of Black YouTube, don't turn out to be so super at all when one of their leaders is ganking intellectual property from other people, especially Cynthia G. And Cynthia G is right. I have heard Cynthia G with those talking points. So I don't understand. If you guys are so good and so smart, why are you ganking people's intellectual property? Well, let's talk about it in a subtle way. On the OverDrive, bang. All right. What's going on, everybody? This is the OverDrive 3G. I am the Black Knight hanging out with the Lady Knight. Got a few things I want to talk about tonight. Um, as you see the title, first of all, shout out to the people in chat. Game support us tonight. Hassan Burton, truth is, glad to see you in the chat. Well, before I go any further, let me get a sound check. Type of one in the chat if you can hear me. Let me know if I'm coming through loud and clear.
Coming through.
Okay. Well, there's been some thievery going on. Damn, go on mute. You got a lot of background noise.
Okay.
There's been a lot of thievery going on, people. A lot of stealing of intellectual property. Where I come from in Jersey City, we call that getting ganked. As you can see, the title, original Gank-sters. And we're going to start with the manosphere. You know, all I heard before I started my channel was how these guys were the smartest on Black YouTube, how they was the most creative on Black YouTube, how they had the most original content on Black YouTube, and that they were the number one content creators on Black YouTube. That's all I heard. And it didn't matter which room you went to, you heard it over and over and over again. The original content creators of YouTube, Black YouTube. Hold on one second.
All right, everybody. Um. Well, I know they were the big hitters. They were content creators. They felt insulted if you just say they were subs. Yeah, and it was a furious competition. And so so we've been hearing about certain YouTubers who never before now taking another YouTuber's content, talking points, and repackaging as if it's their own. First time ever that they even discuss such a thing. Mm-hmm. No, no, especially um in that particular situation and their particular subscribers. Yep, Manospheres. They don't talk about male accountability. Okay, you back? So closest thing they come to it is somebody complaining about how y'all making them look bad. Mm-hmm. O'Shea and Kitten Hills. Okay. All right. Okay, y'all heard it all by now. Kitten Hills went on this guy's Joe Button and he started using talking points that belonged to another YouTuber. Y'all know Sinji. And repackaging as his own. Never has he talked about male accountability. Female accountability up the wazoo. But males, oh, and in the context of they need to up their game and create uh, an
Okay.
environment so women be submissive to them.
Okay.
Hmm.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right. I had a lot of background noise, but anyway, um, for the longest time, all I heard was how good these guys were at creating content and how they had original content that no one else had, and that they were the premier content creators on YouTube. And a lot of these guys got big names, they got big channels, right? But here it is. All along, they've been stealing the intellectual property of other YouTubers. Some big YouTubers, but a lot of small YouTubers, believe it or not, they go to a lot of small channels and cherry pick content. We know because we've been victimized here at the Ebony Star Network. Okay. They're not just going after big YouTubers, they're going after small YouTubers as well. These guys don't have any original content of their own. And we back Cynthia G 100% at the Ebony Star Network. We love Cynthia G over here. We are big supporters of Cynthia G over here. And I've been listening to her for a while, and she has said those talking points. Matter of fact, she said them more than once. They have taken and have stolen her intellectual property. Okay. I've even used her Cynthia G talking about, but I always give people props. When I use something that is created from someone else that I think is inspirational, I always give them their props. You know, I've shouted out Cynthia G. I've used her black male passivity talking point and gave her props because that's where I got it from. So a lot of you cats don't have no integrity. You know, you can't even acknowledge the person that you're getting the information from. What's wrong with saying that that person inspired you and that person has something great to say and inspirational to say that you wanted to parrot or echo to other people? There's nothing wrong with that. A lot of YouTubers on here got some powerful things, you know, and if I hear something that I think is really powerful, inspirational, I'll repeat it here on this channel and give that person the props that I got it from. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with letting Cynthia G know that she inspires many of us? She certainly inspires me, you know, to do a lot of content. So what's wrong with saying that? Why are you guys so afraid of saying that she inspires you? A lot of you want to be like her. Some of you even want to be her. But that's neither here nor there. But there's a lot of ganking going on. In the manosphere, nothing but gangsters. Not gangsters, ganksters. They just gank people's property. I'm not sure if anything that comes out of the manosphere is original. I'm not sure if anything is original because all I hear is talking points of other people. All I hear from them is regurgitation of statistics and talking points of other people. Now, Kitten Hills is doing a 180. He's doing a 180 because he's trying to go on. He's trying to change his tune now. I guess he wants to have more of a balance because you realize that you can't just continuously spew hatred. So now he wants to still talking points of Cynthia G and other YouTubers. He's not just ganking her; he's ganking a few people. And what kills me is all this crap about the black woman this and the black woman that. Now all of a sudden, you got some revelation, and it's well, we have to build economy now. We have to build. We've always had to build that. And what's up with you old Negroes, man, who keep saying the same thing over and over and over again? Keep hearing guys talking about, well, black men have to build, black men have to do this. Yeah, we know all that. The problem is, when are we going to get to doing it? We have to stop sitting up here talking about, well, black men are going to, well, black men need to build and get to building. Let's start having conversations like, hey, listen, I just woke up today and went downtown and I saw 15 black men building a school. See, we got these colorful things that we want to say, right? Because it sounds like we're important, right? Because we don't defend our homestead and because we're not brave enough to do the things that we're supposed to do as men, we don't want to get out here in the real world and compete with real men. So the guilt from that creates these fake scenarios in our mind, these feel-good talking points. Black men need to build. We need to be building a school. We need to be building our own hospitals. We need to go to a higher state of consciousness. See all these feel-good talking points that don't have anything behind them. Because when you say black men need to build a school, you feel good saying it because that's something that you should have been doing. But since you don't have the guts to do it because you're afraid to build something, it makes you feel good and it makes it sound like black men should be doing something, right? Pretty much it buys you time before somebody realizes that you aren't doing anything. And then once they realize that, you come back with the same one again, right? That black men need to come together. Black men need to build. We know what we need to do. We've been knowing what we need to do for a long time now. Problem is we aren't doing it. We need to go from black men need to build to black men building. Let's get a few men at work signs up. Let's get some tool belts cracking. Let's get some power saws, drills. Let's get some schematics, blueprints. Let's get some levels. Let's get some tape measures, framing hammers, carpentry hammers. Let's get to work. We got things we got to do. Let's get back to this thievery of intellectual property. Again, I'm not convinced that anything in the manosphere is real. When you really look at it, all they do is base their content off of other people, off of what other YouTubers are doing. It's like they ride back and forth and keep sharing the same story, right? And then they create a market for themselves by fighting each other. You know, and then it turns into a WWE a Super Slam or something like that. WrestleMania. And it's this one against that one and that one against this one. And you guys get caught up in it because you actually think that they're doing something for black people and they're not. They're just scamming you and distracting you and entertaining you and make you partake, separate from your money. Well, I guess some of you got money to burn, right? Let's look at it this way. Now that you know that they're stealing intellectual property, how exciting are they? You've even heard someone come over here and profess to have this great intellect. 3-digit IQs. These super IQs that no human on earth has, other than them. Claim to know everything, claim to be smarter than everyone. And they've come over here and said some of the craziest things we have ever heard since we've been on YouTube. And no real intellect to speak of, just regurgitation of someone else's work. So all of their content is based off of someone else. There's no real original content coming from them. They have to steal from somebody. And there's a bunch of small channels that they steal from that they cherry pick from. And then they also pick with the big people every now and then, you know. Everybody, a lot of people use Cynthia G's talking points. Even myself, I've used one or two of her talking points, but I've always given her credit. I don't have no problem giving Cynthia G because I love Cynthia G, and she inspires me. She inspires a lot of us. I'm just not afraid to say. I'm just not afraid to admit that. You guys are. Guys like Kevin Samuels don't want to admit that he's been inspired by Cynthia G. And he want to take her talking point to try to build some credibility. He wants to go from a zero to a hero. So the fact that we're talking about a loser like that, who is famous for disrespecting women and talking down to women, it goes to show you just how messed up we are as black people, right? Is that what we're looking for? Just entertainment? Is that all we are? Just people who are satisfied by a show or some flashing lights or some penguin in a zoot suit? Is that all we are? Are we just an easy trick? Excuse me. It seems that that's pretty much what we are. Although some of us fancy ourselves as intellectuals, it really don't mean nothing in the grand scheme of things because overall, as a collective, we just seem to be a cheap trick. And the way to win us over is to sing and dance or put on a dog and pony show or someone stand there in a big banana suit and yell abracadabra, open sesame. And we show up talking about some, oh wow, man, whoa, that's what's up. And so now all of our attraction is there. Now, mind you, while we talking about a loser who's scamming black people for money and about the punk ass manosphere that's stealing intellectual property of just about every YouTuber on this side. While we're doing all of that and have our attention on that, a young black girl was murdered, was lynched. And her parents was told by the state police to don't say anything about her death or they will reveal her daughter's sexuality. Apparently her daughter is LGBTQ, but so what? It doesn't mean that she deserves to be lynched. Now, y'all have heard me. I don't agree with the lifestyle, but it doesn't mean that it deserves to be murdered. They have a right to live like everybody else. She shouldn't have been lynched simply because she's LGBT. I don't agree with that. She's a black woman, a young black girl who was lynched. And you got the state trooper talking about something. Don't say anything or we will reveal your daughter's sexuality. Ain't that sad? We got an article about that. We're going to bring that up at some point, but not right now. Let me finish my rant about these so-called ganksters. These so-called original content creators were nothing more than just ganksters. They're ganking content. Now, it kind of makes you wonder now how they get one show after another so quickly because they go around cherry picking content off of other people's channels and try to put it in their own words because they don't have the integrity to say where they got their information from. And they don't have the guts to admit that they are inspired. There's some people on here on YouTube, they got a mean intellectual game. And when I hear them talk, I'm in awe. I'm serious. There's a few brothers and sisters on here that really, really, really got it going on upstairs. Okay. And I'm inspired by them. Cynthia G is one of them. Dr. Umar Johnson is another one. So, what's wrong with being inspired by smart black people? What's wrong with that? Why are you so afraid to be inspired by smart black people? Black people who know what they're talking about, black people who know what it is. Why are you so afraid to acknowledge that you got the inspiration for what you say from said smart people, smart black people? Let me bring in my co-host for a second. Lady Knight, come on in here.
Hey.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
this is our OverDrive show. It's a back and forth show. So let's get the show started.
All right.
So let me ask you a question. What's wrong with what's wrong with saying that you are inspired by some of the content of Cynthia G?
There's
What's wrong with
nothing.
that?
There's nothing wrong with that. But you see, these dudes been talking bad about black women. So how it looks that they are taking talking points and content from a black woman, although some of them were already doing that already. They just didn't know it. But yeah.
I don't understand why they got an issue with that because they're always saying that black women are the most educated, right?
Uh-huh.
So if they're the most educated, then what is the issue?
Oh, well, they don't think that's a positive trait in the black woman. So the
Wait a
fact
minute,
that they're
wait.
using
What? Wait a minute. So you're saying that intelligence isn't a positive trait?
to them it ain't.
Okay, so what okay. So what is the woman supposed to be as far as they're concerned?
Uh,
What's she supposed to be?
I I have no idea.
Okay, so this is why they're stealing from her because they feel that intelligence isn't a positive trait in black women. So they're like, give me this intellectual property. You aren't supposed to have it. Oh, no, I'm sorry. You shouldn't have it.
Um,
Let me go on and take this intellectual property from you because you're a woman and your intellect is not a positive trait.
uh, I think he's trying to fool people by thinking, okay, they're not really listening to Cynthia G and all that other stuff. Or he's gone to this podcast, and those people over there are not YouTubers. They just like I guess whatever social media they are, Facebook, uh, uh, Instagram, Twitter. Oh, they ain't gonna
Well,
know about
it's
Cynthia.
I just don't see what's wrong. Like, are you that weak in your manhood that you feel that if you let somebody know that you got this intellectual property from Cynthia G that you would feel like you're less than a man?
Uh huh. Yeah. Not to
Hmm.
mention, he's trying to hang on. He's trying to what they call it, monkey branch. He's trying to hang on to his original base subscribers group who are very much against Cynthia G. Hate on black women and stuff like that,
Well, maybe
while
it's time to
trying to
let
reach
those.
for a new set that he think is going to rise him above where he's at right
This is
now.
supposed to be a back and forth, not a you talk all day thing.
Okay, I'm finished.
Anyway, so what about, okay, maybe it's time for them to let those idiots go who just want to hate. Black man, I don't understand. Why are they hating anyway? What's the thing?
Uh huh.
What's the purpose of the hate?
Oh, they actually, because they scapegoating the black woman, and since they using her for a scapegoat, their hate they have for themselves because they not where they supposed to be at is
Well,
directed
if you're
on.
not where you're supposed to be at, that don't have anything to do with black women.
Hmm. But no,
You
they
see,
need. Oh, I'm sorry.
my whole thing is, remember when we first started the channel,
Hmm.
there was a lot of people boasting that they had original content.
Hmm.
A lot of the manosphere was talking crazy. They got original content. But it turns out that they are nothing but gangsters. Ganksters, not gangsters, y'all. Gang with a K. Stirs. So they're stealing the intellectual property of other people,
Hmm.
other YouTubers,
Yeah, they've been
mainly
doing that.
Cynthia G.
Hmm. But yeah, this is I guess you could say their first venture into somebody that's not of the same like mind as their. They used to the
Oh,
echo chamber.
I don't get it, man. It could be because I'm an older guy. I don't have these problems that these guys have.
Hmm.
Like, I don't have ego issues and stuff like that. Like, you know, if I'm inspired, I'm inspired. It don't matter if it's a man or a woman.
Hmm.
If something is said that I'm inspired by, I'm going to support it.
Hmm.
And Cynthia G has a lot of inspiring content.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Especially when she gets into her psychological, her, her psychiatry. What would I say? Her psychology breakdowns.
Hmm.
There's a lot to learn there. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. But you see, the thing is, they don't come out. They don't come out as in a good light with her psychology because they are what she says they are. Otherwise, they
Mm-hmm.
would be freaking out, upset, having a fit about what she said because it wouldn't apply to them.
Mm-hmm.
So they
Yeah,
tried to. Oh, go ahead.
I was watching one of these. I was watching these jigaboos on the Tower of Power.
Hmm.
That jigaboo Ramil. These guys, the hatred. This is what I don't understand. What is the end game for all of this hatred for the black woman? What's the end game?
The end game is that she's the scapegoat. She's always been the scapegoat. Um,
So the end game is that the black woman is a scapegoat for what though?
is an excuse to not be where they're supposed to be, to not be the leaders supposed to be, the men they supposed to be. The
So the end game is to
the
make the black woman a permanent scapegoat for being a irresponsible, lousy person.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Shoots. They already show their hatred for their mother. They are targeted. They are saying that
I could
their
never.
mothers are the reason the black community is um is dysfunctional.
I'm not a doctor, and I don't play one on TV nor online. But I could
Mm-hmm.
never hate my mother.
Mm-hmm.
Now I've been told recently that some people suffer trauma. You know, I guess I'll have to respect that, but because I'm not a doctor, but
Mm-hmm.
I know I could never hate my mother. And when you say, people laugh when I say I grew up in a time where we was taught if you couldn't say it in front of your mother, you just didn't say it to another woman. Right. If you don't talk like that around your mother, you don't talk like that to your girlfriend. You don't
Mm-hmm.
talk like that around other women.
Mm-hmm.
And people think I'm crazy when they're like, man, what are you talking about, man? You out of your daggone mind. I'm telling you, that's how I was taught.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still like that.
Yeah. Yeah, we was taught to respect our mothers. You can't talk to them any kind of way. You show them respect and all that other stuff. Wait a minute, I just
Hmm.
had a realization. They trying
What's
to
that?
be white people. White people talk to their parents with disrespect, especially their mothers. You ever
A lot
seen
of
these
white people.
little black boys talking all kind of crazy to their mamas?
I don't know. We couldn't do that when I was growing up.
No, couldn't. But
I,
they want to so badly.
so you say that they are blaming the black woman now for messing up the community?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How? I'm
Let me
trying to
see.
figure. Okay, so how did the black woman mess up the community? How the hell did she do that?
Well, according to them, there's many reasons. Number one on their list is she chose badly.
Okay, well, we talked about this before.
Mm-hmm.
The choosing of bad men is the fault of the fathers not raising good men.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they.
Raise good, raise good men. If you want the black woman to choose better, raise good men, and she will choose better.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um.
You have to understand something, right?
Mm-hmm.
We both have a part to play in the environment.
Mm-hmm.
The black woman nests in the environment. The black man protects, produces, and provides for the environment
Mm-hmm.
and protect the lives of the people in the environment.
Mm-hmm.
So part of that is to make sure your daughters have decent young men.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to do that, you have to raise them.
Okay. Yeah, but they saying she chose badly, and that's how she became uh, um, um, a mother raising her children alone.
A lot of them must be talking about their fathers.
Yeah, but they're saying their father's not the bad guy. They're saying the
Well,
black woman drove him away.
well, she chose badly though, because look at how you turned out. Right, you turned out to be some scathing lunatic that's obsessed with sex dolls and are abusive to blow up dolls. I mean, you're going around abusing blow up dolls. You got some serious mental problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So look how you turned out. You are awkward, socially awkward. You think sex dolls are better than the real thing. Um, you don't know how to talk to women. You don't have any real courage. So your mother chose wrong. Your mother should have chose better. She should have chose the man with a stronger bloodline, a man that had a backbone, a man that had some integrity,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe you wouldn't be as weak as you are.
That's exactly what they're saying. That, that's exactly what they're saying. When they say she chose badly.
Well, no, because at the time she expected his father to have all of these things. You see, a lot of times guys pull the wool over women's eyes, and women get caught up in love depending on what the guy looks like, right?
Hmm.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
a
That's
woman
what they
is
say.
not choosing. A woman is not choosing a therapist. Didn't they say? Okay, it's a contradiction to say that she chose wrong, but you claim or blame her for practicing hypergamy.
Oh,
So which
that's
one is it?
okay. That's the ones that are angry at the woman that didn't choose them. The or the
But
woman that left them.
how can she be choosing bad when she's practicing hypergamy?
Well, they're mad at their mama for not practicing hypergamy.
Hmm.
And they're mad at the woman that they want for practicing hypergamy.
Wow.
Exactly. They a confused mess.
So you're mad at your mama for not practicing hypergamy, and you're mad at the woman that turned you down for practicing hypergamy.
Hmm. See?
And I guess that's what leads to the hyperbole.
Hmm.
Hypergamy leading to female hypergamy leading to male hyperbole. All
Okay.
right. What we got going on in the chat? Who's in the chat? What are they
Remy
saying that?
just came in, so she's saying hi to everybody.
Hey, Remy.
She's in there. Princess T is in here. I hadn't heard from Hassan for a while, so I don't know if he's still here. Um, yeah. And there's a bunch of people in the clouds,
Okay,
and probably a troll or two in the bush.
so my thing is okay. You're mad at the woman for practicing. Okay, you're mad at your mother for not. You claim your mother wasn't practicing hypergamy, so you're saying your daddy wasn't shit. But now you're mad at the woman. You're mad at the woman that you want who turned you down because she practicing hypergamy.
Hmm. Yeah, but they don't want to admit that their daddy ain't, you know, ain't crap. So what
Well,
they're saying
well, he,
is, huh?
well, no, he has to be because if he was anything, he would be with the mother. The mother would be with him.
Uh-huh. But this is how twisted their logic is. Their logic is that their father are good men, and their mother ran them off with her either ratchet behavior or her effery.
Okay, that don't even make any sense.
I know that's the point. It don't make any sense.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. So you're saying that okay, if your father was a good man, then why did he get ran off?
Hmm.
Because they didn't say he ran off. They said she ran him off.
Exactly.
So if you're a good man, if your father's a good man, then what is he doing getting ran off. I wonder if they know the meaning of the things they say.
No, they don't.
See, if you were to say he ran off, that's different than getting ran off.
Mhm,
If you get ran off, then that means there's a problem.
mhm,
You're doing something that someone does not like, and they don't like it so much that they running you out of there.
mhm.
They got to get rid of you. They got to get you out of there, so they running you off.
Yep.
They step into you on some get from around here. Don't come around here no more. That
Yep.
don't sound like no good man.
Mhm. Yeah. And they also saying by her stepping to him to run him off, she's masculine.
So
That's
your
what ran
mama,
him off because she was masculine. She was acting like masculine.
so your mama stepped to your daddy talking about some get from around here. Don't come around here no more. How could that be a good man?
Mm,
Getting ran off. And you getting ran off on some old country shit he told you to get from around here. Don't come around here no more, boy. That don't sound like no good man.
mm, yeah.
Okay,
I
let's
think.
put it one in the. Okay, ladies, put it one in the chat if you're running off a good man. We're gonna put this to a poll. All right. So, ladies, if you're running off a good man, put one for yes and two for no.
Yeah.
Monitor the chat thing. Let me know what's going on.
All right. I'll wait for them to respond.
So now we can talk into to the response. We know
Okay.
what the numbers means. One for yes, two for no. So let's get back to the discussion.
Okay.
So they want us to believe that their father was a good man
Mhm.
and their mother, who wasn't practicing hypergamy.
Mhm.
Now, he said their father was a good man. So was the mother practicing hypergamy?
Okay. If their father was a good man, wait, restate that again. I got lost in the twistiness.
If the mother, okay, if the father was a good man, does that mean the mother was practicing hypergamy?
Oh, um, I guess so, because if a good man is what you consider a value, then yes, they were practicing hypergamy. Hmm. But people keep getting caught up in the money and the social status part of it. But yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm. In my opinion, if their father's a good man and their mother got with them, then their mother was practicing hypergamy because she was looking for a good man. That was the hypergamous part of what she was going for. But that caused the question. Let me see. Remy says too. Um,
Okay.
let's see. I think truth is lagging behind. He seemed to be talking about something I was talking about earlier, and the rest.
So, uh,
It seems like it's because a good man would have never left his kids for anything. Yeah, but you see, that's
well,
how
yeah,
twisted
but you see, my whole thing is,
Mm-hmm.
If they claim their father's a good man,
Mm-hmm.
then the mother would run him off. Understand, they didn't say their father ran off.
Mm-hmm.
They said he got ran off. That's a whole different animal.
Mm-hmm. Or they said the kick the man out of the home for welfare.
Well, that ain't even happened, so
Uh huh.
I wish they'd cut that out.
Yeah, you figured they would stop trying to beat that dead horse.
Yeah,
It ain't
that
true,
never happened, y'all. That never happened.
but
I mean, the government did. They did get checks back then, but it didn't. It wasn't like you think it is. And
mhm.
they didn't get. You know, what happened was, if you was on welfare, when the social worker came around, you couldn't have a husband in the house. And so, whenever the social worker came around, right, he would leave like an hour early. He would leave.
Yeah. So yeah, so they are twisting in the breeze, and we got different groups in these manosphere. They're all kind of mixed up.
Hmm.
Yeah, and let's see. There was something True said earlier that I meant to bring up, which sounds like it might be about right about them. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, okay. No, no, no. It is what I thought it was, but it's not quite what it said. Truth's gone. In all honesty, if they wanted their mother to be hypergamous, then a lot of their mothers would have dated out of her race, and they would have been biracial. So ironically, they're wishing not to be black.
Hmm.
Well, that depends on if she considered that a part of her hypergamy look point. Hypergamy is whatever the woman thinks it is. If she preferred black man, then that's part of her hypergamy. Good man, that's part of her hypergamy. Good job, part of the hypergamy. Um, Especially when it's dealing with us here in America, we got various view of hypergamy, not
Hmm.
just the obvious social status or rich man or money. Okay, I mean, yeah. So, mhm. But okay, well, so yeah, that could be it too. But then they would be mad at her too. A, a lot of biracial kids are mad because hey, okay, all right. So hey, Max,
Yes.
okay, okay, okay. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, I thought hypergamous is the mindset of dating upward in the economical ladder. Okay, but is okay, yeah, but if you think long game, you want a man who's who's a good and faithful man who um makes a nice amount of money. Because if you get a rich man who ain't good, he's constantly looking for the more younger thing, eventually you're gonna get replaced. So hypergamy long game, it would be more hypergamous to go for uh the good and faithful man that has make decent money, not necessarily just rich. So, what you think about that, Max? Is my definition of a hypergamous wrong, or is it just too far out there, Max?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you think my take on hypergamous is off, or is it we stick to
Well,
the definition version?
it's a little out there,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not impossible.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. So think of white supremacy as a dirty coin
Mm-hmm.
at the bottom of a gigantic fountain used for kids. What
His what? His,
did you
his
say?
I didn't get you broke off on that last part. Dirty found to his what?
What?
The white man is the thing is a dirty coin at the bottom of the fountain, but you broke off on that other part.
Yeah, here's a dirty coin at the bottom of a fountain of dirty coins.
Oh, okay. Okay, Remy goes, I noticed that as women, we get punished for being who we are as women. We do what is in our nature and we get ridiculed for it. We can only be women when we are in the kitchen or the bedroom and the workplace.
Hmm.
Mm.
So according to these guys, the woman can't really do anything but be in the kitchen
Or the bedroom.
or the bedroom.
Or if she's the only one making an income in the workplace for those homosexuals out there. All right. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah. So,
All right, let's. Huh?
okay, you ready to move on to the other topic?
Yeah, let's move on to the article. We'll come back on this. Let's move on to the little girl that was lynched. The 16-year-old girl. What's her name? Makayla what?
Miller.
Makayla Miller. A young black teenage girl, Makayla Miller, was lynched, people.
Hmm. All right.
So let's go and get into that article.
Okay. Well, let me do the copyright. Here we go. This channel may contain content not authorized for use by its owner. However, according to Section 107 of the Copyright Act of the United States, the fair use of copyrighted work for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, or research is not an infringement of copyright. Okay. Uh, okay. Ugh, okay. Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
We never
This
get it up.
is okay. All right. I got it up. There she is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, she's up. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and read the article. Black LGBTQ teen found hanging from a tree in Massachusetts. I don't know about that, but hey, according to the report from the CBS in Boston, 16-year-old LGBTQ teen, 16-year-old Michaela Miller was found hanging in a tree in Massachusetts suburb and parent alleged that her parents are alleging that police are keeping important information about her death from them. Okay, she was found hanging in a tree on April 18th on a trail behind her apartment where she lived in Hopkinton, Massachusetts. Massachusetts. Michaela told social media, claiming that the police ignored the children who allegedly bullied and ambushed and murdered her daughter. So, like the day
Wow.
before, she was being bullied, and they ambushed her. It's now alleged that Miller was lynched because she was black, gay, or both. Michaela,
So,
go ahead.
yeah.
Michaela was a student athlete at Hopkinton High, which is predominantly white. The idea that we would not investigate bullying or murder as an allegation is just not true. Middlesex District uh, Attorney Ryan said to members of the press, "To lose a child and then to think that everything is not being done to find out what happened is a terrible thing. We want to get the right answers for Michaela. Sorry about that, Michaela. According to the DA, more information will be released at a vigil at Michaela's uh, on Thursday, May 13th in Hopkinton.
Mhm.
All right, so I guess we're gonna be looking for an update soon. All right, now,
And so the police said to
mhm,
the parents
mhm.
that you better not say anything about this, or we're going to expose the sex of your daughter.
Yeah, her her sexual orientation,
Hmm.
like that's gonna stop a parent that's the child passed away. Anyway, the mother had okay, the person that tweeted this said they were absolutely gutted by the news, and her mother had told her, my daughter was jumped by a group of kids on Saturday, April 17, 2021, and was then murdered hours later in Hopkinton, tied to a tree and left. So they left her hanging from a tree. So since
Wow.
this is a predominantly white school, they covering up because it's a predominantly white school, and she was being bullied, and she got ambushed and jumped on, and then later on that day she's been hung from a tree. The Hopkins police did not log either the incident when my daughter was ambushed nor when she was found dead. The state police did not conduct an investigation or speak to persons involved. A black person hanging from a tree.
Mhm.
We don't do no suicide by hanging, especially not from no tree. That alone should have been suspicious. The state police did not. Okay, wait. I'm repeating myself. The state police did not conduct an investigation or speak to the persons involved. In other words, the kids that jumped her.
Hmm.
They did. They did collect evidence, or they did collect evidence, or provide me with a police report. The state trooper who is in charge, Sergeant Sean O'Brien of the Millsburg State Trooper, warned me not to go to the media or else my daughter's sexuality would be exposed. Well, I did, and it will not cover up her murder. Please repent and share this post. So, hey, so what you think of that? You think they're trying to cover up because the school's predominantly white, so it's possible that her bullies are white? Hey, 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 hey. Okay, all right. Okay, everybody. I'm going to drop the link. See if anybody wants to discuss this in a little bit more. Yeah, yeah, that's what it is. True. Okay. Let me drop the link and okay. Yo Max.
Yeah.
All right, all right. Okay, so you think it has anything to do with the fact that she comes from a
Did you
predominantly
mute
white?
me?
Huh? Yeah, we was hearing some strange noises in the background, but just for a second.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. So, um, you think the fact that she goes to a predominantly white high school has anything to do with why they trying to cover
Yeah.
up, why they trying to shut the mother down?
Yep. I think that has a lot to do with it because, for one, they don't want any attention brought to the school, and the fact that she's black, you know, that'll bring some bad publicity to the school.
Yeah, it also might indicate a high possibility of racism in the school.
Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah.
She said I was snoring. Did I fall asleep?
Yeah, that's what the strange noises were sounding like.
Okay.
Hmm.
I am a little tired.
Hmm.
So what's that? You want to go a little bit more? Because I'm up now.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, I think that's what's going on. It's the cover up, and since it's mainly a white school, and she was being bullied, and I seen some of the pictures. Uh, she might have been one of maybe a handful of black people in that school.
Yeah, see, that's the problem. See, this is why I rail against sending your kids to these white schools. Your child is a target at an all white school. You think that your child is bad at an all black school or a school in the so called ghetto, whatever? You think it's bad for your kid to go there? Actually, it's safer for your child to be there than it is in a white school. Your child is a target, I'm telling you, in a white school. They're targets. We have to raise our children better and teach our children better to cut down the violence or get rid of the violence in our schools. That all comes from how you raise your children. That's all that is. That's not a hard thing to get rid of. When I was younger, my mother taught us and my father taught us not to put our hands on people, and we didn't bully people. So we didn't go to school starting trouble and looking to commit violence. So that's a parenting thing that can be parented out of these children. But I wouldn't send a child to an all white school. And then y'all think that the white schools are better because somehow you're convinced that white people have the best education, and they just don't. Nothing could be further from the truth.
Mm, yeah, yeah. So yeah, we have seen too many incidents where a death of our children, or in fact, some adult people, where it's involving they're in these white communities, they're at these white schools, they trust in these white people.
It's bad when it's bad when um it's bad when you have no when you have adults guiding you the wrong way and putting you in harm's way. It's hard, man. You don't have a chance. Like Micaiah Bryant, she never had a chance. Look at the adults around her. They were just terrible people. All of them, the mother, the father, the sisters, everybody was terrible. Everybody around her that was an adult failed her.
Yeah.
And you look at this woman here who lost her daughter.
Yeah.
She let her daughter go to these schools by herself. Our children are targets, people, when you're sending them to these white schools and these foreign schools. They're targets.
Yeah. hmm Or they get fooled into these temporary, um, all inclusiveness that these kids sometimes show at school, and think this is my friend, this is my buddy. But that same friend or buddy is gonna be a different story when y'all adults and y'all out into the world looking for a job and stuff like that. Then you the competition. Then you the enemy. Or they don't have your back like you think they do. They they're not gonna jump in to protect you from their people if their people decide they want to kill you for whatever reason.
No. And if anything, they will gang up on your child. And then it's their word. You have to understand when you're in their neck of the woods, they're going to take the word of their children over your child. Nobody is going to side with your child. You know, when your child opens up his or her mouth, you may as well be telling a myth because no one is going to support your child. Nobody in the town is going to support your child. No one.
Yeah, we did too many stories of kids that got killed by white folks. Nothing was done to them. Not even arrest. Not even temporary arrest. Um, or the police didn't take it seriously, and then they got to go for a
Yep.
manhunt for that person. Let that person have time to get away. Um,
And then
and
you,
mm-hmm,
and then not only that, right?
mm-hmm,
You look at it. Nobody in the town will support you. You
mm-hmm,
have to wait for a white person to have a tremendous amount of guilt to tell you something about what happened to your child, and then they don't even tell you exactly what happened. You know, and when you in all white towns, strange things happen to you. When you're a black person, all of a sudden, trees get up and start walking, and the trees snatch you up. I mean, all kinds of weird things happen to you when you're in white towns and you're black.
hi, Avenant.
And understand something, right? When you are in an all white town, you're a troublemaker if you're black. Even if you're quiet, you're a troublemaker. It don't matter how long you lived there. It don't matter if you did one thing. As soon as something goes down with you involved, you're a troublemaker. And your neighbors who've been living next to you for 10 years, who've come and broke bread in your home, call themselves your friend, will sit there in your face and act like they don't even know you.
Mm-hmm.
They will talk to other white people talking about, well, I've never known him to do that, never known her. Then again, you never know people, you know?
Mm-hmm.
They will sit there in your face and act like they don't even know you.
Yeah.
You're a troublemaker. You are a troublemaker. You are a troublemaker live in a white town, and I wouldn't even put as far as listen. You shouldn't trust the education of your children
Mm-hmm.
to somebody you don't even know, and somebody that don't even look like you, unless you're there to supervise.
Yeah.
Unless you're there to supervise, I wouldn't trust my child's education to no one other than myself. If I can't homeschool my child, I would have it set up to where my child is homeschooled.
Mm-hmm.
I would have the tutors or whatever come into the house,
Mm-hmm.
or they would be set up on virtual online classes. They will not be entering a white school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like I said, you got to be crazy to send your kids back to school after this pandemic. You should be sending right now. You should be looking for what you can to school your children online. But you already got parents talking about, oh, I can't wait to send my kids back to school. What, so they can get killed? Look at what just happened to this young boy, right? Black boy. The cops ran up in the school and killed this young boy.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Remy said she started homeschooling since the shutdown. Her kids are not going back. Uh, and, and
Right.
and don't forget the little boy that went to the sleepover and they made him drink pee.
And listen, stay around your people. Don't all of a sudden become high and mighty and you want to go live with white folks. You're safer around your own people. I know y'all can't understand that,
Mm-hmm.
but you're safer around your own people.
Mm-hmm.
Get around some black people you know. It ain't got to be a lot of them. Two, three houses of black people you know you can trust and live around there with them. You ain't got to be friends with every black person in the neighborhood. Just
Uh-huh.
two or three neighbors, two or three, four neighbors. You know, live with them. Stay around your own kind.
Mm-hmm.
You have to understand something too, right? They've weaponized our behavior against us. Our natural personality, we're very animated because we're very gifted people. We're very animated.
Mm-hmm.
We move a lot. So they weaponized all that against us.
Okay.
So you have to be aware of that. So when you're talking to them, you have to be very careful because they weaponize your behavior and your very movements against you.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. Remy is giving truth some advice. I said that should apply to all of us. I always say when you're around them, keep it about business. Learn all you can from them. Don't get into personal relationships with them. Never
There
speak
really ain't
about
nothing to
black
learn
people in
from.
front of them.
There really ain't nothing to learn from them. But listen, they don't know stuff that you can't find out yourself.
Mm-hmm.
These aren't super intellectual people to the point where they're so smart that you can't possibly learn what they're learning. No. As a matter of fact, a lot of their institutions are powered by black brains. You know how many black people work for NASA? It ain't just white people in NASA. They ain't got nothing. You can learn. See, our problem is we don't have any belief in ourselves. And we've been taught from the womb that we need to go work for someone else. We need to go to someone else to get educated. And we need to do for other people in order to have a decent life. So our life has been taught to us at a very young age to be
Mhm.
a consumer and to live for other people other than ourselves. Because what have you been taught, right? Go to school and get a job. So you go to school and you work for someone. So you're living your life for someone else. You're working for someone. Yeah, they're giving you a paycheck, but you're working and you're helping them out. You're not building your own stuff. You haven't been taught that.
Mhm.
They teach Jewish boys that from the womb to own companies and own industries. That's why they're so good at it because they've been taught from a toddler how to run these businesses, how to own people, how to own property. That's all they're taught.
Okay.
They don't know nothing about no going to school and getting a job. They don't know nothing about that.
Mhm.
As a matter of fact, if you tell them stuff like that, they'll think you stupid.
Mhm. All right. Yeah. Oh, Remy wanted to clarify. She meant by learning how they navigate certain situations. For instance, I'm an accountant student. I take classes in taxes. They know tax secrets that's not on the books. Uh huh.
hmm
Uh
I guess you can, yeah, I guess you can do things like that. But you know what black people need to learn how to do
huh.
that they don't know how to do?
Uh
Black people need to learn how to navigate themselves around this country,
huh.
like a quartermaster does in the river, in the ocean. You need to learn longitude, latitude. You need to learn how to, you need to understand the the academics behind a map and how maps are made. You really need to study this types of things because this can really help you. This can really help you, and it opens up the door to different types of mathematics. A lot of black people cannot navigate themselves around the corner.
Uh
Like if you had to go 47 blocks due west, right? And you
huh.
didn't have any GPS, you didn't have an address, but you had to go 47 blocks due west. You had no, you have no electronics, no GPS, no address. All you have is a compass and a map. How you going 47 blocks due west? Or 48 blocks southeast?
Uh,
You understand what I'm saying?
yeah.
You know, you gotta learn how to do these things, man. It's very important. Y'all might poo-poo this, but I'm telling you, it's
Uh
extremely important to learn how to navigate around. You ever been places and you got directions for white people and they give you directions and you're confused? They tell you to take this exit and get off and go east or get off and turn south.
huh.
But when you get there, you don't see no representation of south. You don't see no representation of any direction. Which way would be south then? Which way are you turning? Which way is east? Which way are you turning? You don't see no representation of east, north, south, anywhere. So you got off the exit, they tell you to turn south. Where? Which way are you turning? You have to know how to do stuff like that. You have to be able to navigate. Trust me, This is very, very important. You have to be able to, because they can confuse you with this kind of information.
Okay.
And trust me, this kind of information, right, can be the difference between you getting somewhere to live
Mm-hmm.
and not making it somewhere. It might and not making it somewhere, ending up in the wrong place and getting murdered or dying.
Okay.
If I tell you, okay, I want you to go to Gas City, Indiana, right? You're in Louisiana. I want you to get on this road and that road and head south. And when you get here, go east. And when you get here, go north. And when you get to this, get off on this exit, head south, and then go down to the other end, turn north, and then turn back east. How are you going to do all of that if you have once you get on these roads and the only representation you have is on the main highway? But when you get off the main highway and you get to these towns, you don't have no information on what direction to go in. How are you going to turn east? How are you going to turn northeast? How would you know? And I'm trying to tell y'all, this is a big problem. This can keep you from ending up somewhere where you don't supposed to be. And when you are, trust me,
Mm-hmm.
white people love it when you go places you ain't supposed to. When you end up places that you're not supposed to be, because they already know that you're not supposed to be there, right? So you end up navigating somewhere you ain't supposed to be. And they getting ready to do what they're gonna do to you because you ain't supposed to be there no way, and don't nobody even know you there because you don't even know where you at. To begin with, you don't even know where you at. Okay, so it can be problematic. It's very, very important to learn how to navigate. If they take your GPSs away and we go to war, right, and all the electronics is shut down, how you getting around? Sure, you'll have some representation of north, west, east, and south, right? But what happens when you get off the main interstates and you no longer have those representations and you have no GPS? How are you getting there? And how could you find your way with just a compass and no map? You have to know the mathematics. You have to know the mathematics behind it. Hello? Okay. Hello? Hello? Am I
Yeah.
frozen?
Okay.
You
Well,
sleep?
I didn't think I was, but I guess I
All right, well,
did.
that's it. Let's shut it down.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cause all right. Let me go ahead and
All
set
right,
up.
everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We did come on kind of late, so we're both sleepy. Sorry about that. We'll holler at y'all probably tomorrow. Okay. So, peace, power, unit, everybody. Thanks for coming through. And say a prayer for that girl's family who was lynched just because she LGBTQ. doesn't mean that she should have been murdered.
Right.
So our condolences that goes out to her family. Peace, power, unity, everybody.
All right.
Get us out of here, Dan.